This is the ultimate tier list for what business to start if you are a beginner. Hundreds of gurus are telling you to focus on passive income and start the next overhyped business like dropshipping, affiliate marketing, or even SMMA. But those are some of the worst businesses you can start as a beginner, and here's why. Starting the wrong type of business can waste you years of progress and a lot of money. But that's why this video will not only show you a basic ranking, but it will give you a roadmap to help you on your journey to build a sustainable business that actually works. If I had no money and no experience, these are the types of businesses I would be looking to start. They are not expensive, they are not high risk, and they won't take you years to see results. The truth is, none of these businesses are easy, but once you tip your toes in here, it can make every other tier easier as you grow. So how do I know this? Well, over the past 7 years, I have tried at least one business option in every category that I will show you. I ran multiple ventures, including winning a government grant for my current software company, and by combining a tons of research with my personal experience, this is what I compiled for you. But here's the catch: if you can't stay on this video for only a few minutes without clicking off to chase another flashy promise from a typical guru, I've got some news for you. You probably won't make it. All of these business options can essentially be grouped into 3 big types. It's crucial that you don't skip ahead, so you will see how to cherry pick the best beginner friendly options, transition into advanced models, and craft your own personalized roadmap for the future. When you think of starting a business, the first thing that probably comes to mind is selling a product like trending clothing, cool gadgets, or even a watch. Now, generally product-based businesses are much more complex than gurus make them seem. They belong into a high risk category with a high failure rate, and they usually take much longer than expected to turn a profit. However, some entrepreneurs do find success in this space, creating multi-million and even multi-billion dollar product-based businesses. The catch is, these success stories aren't as simple as they look. Some of the most overhyped businesses in the E tier fall under this category, but this does not mean that all product-based businesses belong there. And to make things clearer, I've divided them into 2 subtypes, starting with physical products. Selling tangible goods, things like clothing, a chair, or gadgets, is often exciting. It's undeniable that there is something appealing about creating a product that people can physically touch, use, and enjoy. I actually tried it out a couple years ago, talked to a factory, and was about to document the whole thing until I realized it requires complex logistics. From sourcing materials to dealing with shipping and inventory, the process can quickly become overwhelming. When it comes to your product, you will need to figure out what makes your product stand out. Pricing, messaging, and also differentiation from competitors are very, very important. To make it all work, you need to be a jack of all trades. This means handling design, marketing, know how to drive traffic if you don't have an existing audience, and also do customer service. It's really a lot to manage. And factories that do produce good quality products often require big minimum order quantities, in other words MOQs, meaning you will need substantial capital upfront even before making your first sale. And yes, print on demand exists, but it often comes with lower quality options and with even lower margins. Now, speaking of margins, many physical product businesses struggle to turn a meaningful profit on top of that, especially in the early stages. But not all is bad, and physical products still have some undeniable advantages. If you are passionate about design or innovation, physical products give you room to create something truly unique. You're creating something people can physically interact with, which builds a different kind of emotional connection, brand loyalty, and trust. And assuming you have money to invest in marketing, inventory, and you have consistent demand, once established, product-based businesses can somewhat scale well, and over time your results become less tied to your time investment, allowing you to earn more without constantly working harder. Overall, I will put physical product businesses in the D tier. For most beginners, the risks and costs outweigh the benefits. Unless you have prior experience, extra capital to spare, or you are crazy passionate about creating physical products, I would avoid starting here. It's not something you pursue with expectations to make a quick profit, and especially not if you don't have other income sources. But not all product-based businesses are this tricky, and the next subtype might actually surprise you. Digital products are intangible, more knowledge-based goods like courses, templates, newsletters, or even software tools, and they are even more scalable than physical products and don't require inventory or shipping. Now, many beginners are drawn to this because on the surface it actually might look like the perfect get-rich-fast niche. However, like with everything in business, it has its pros and cons, and they are definitely not as simple as some gurus want you to believe. While creating something like an ebook might be relatively straightforward, the real challenge isn't just making a product, it's creating value and standing out. As a beginner, without deep knowledge or clearly defined niche, it's very easy to get lost in a sea of mediocre offerings. The digital product space is so overcrowded, and without a unique edge, your product could struggle to gain traction. Now, success with digital products often require you having an existing audience or money to invest into paid ads, and without one of these, it's very hard to drive sales, with one exception: which I will explain in a moment. Creating something people actually want takes more than a great idea. It's not just, oh, I will create a product and sell it and then magically people will appear out of nowhere to buy it. It requires a lot of validation and testing to ensure there's demand before you waste your time. This is specifically true when you get into software tools, which brings me to the exception. I want to highlight this before getting comments about it. Even though today I run a SaaS company, I still have to rank it in the C tier for beginners. Unlike other digital products though, it doesn't require you to have a large audience up front, and it can also be one of the most rewarding businesses because of enterprise value and other stuff like its scalability, apart from the experience you can get from it. However, SaaS is also one of the hardest businesses to start as it requires technical skills, patience and ongoing development. I had the chance to work with experienced coaches through something like Y Combinator who helped me learn much faster, but without that guidance it would have been much more challenging. And by the way, if you need some help regarding this, feel free to join my community using the link in the description below. If you are a beginner, think of SaaS as a long-term goal once you have built a foundation, which I will talk about later in this video. So let's talk about reasons that make digital products a great choice. Once created, digital products typically have low overhead costs and high margins, making them very profitable. And unlike physical products, you can easily copy it a million times. It's very scalable and there is no inventory or shipping headaches, and usually it's cheaper and much faster to produce with lower risks compared to physical products. With the use of automation tools, it's also much simpler to scale without tying results directly to your time. Now, if done right, digital products can generate substantial income, freeing up your time to focus on other things you actually love or even building additional streams of revenue. For most beginners, digital products are in the C tier. They are worth exploring after you have built foundational skills and have a way to drive traffic, whether through ads or even leveraging the second business type that I will cover. Content-based businesses revolve around creating and sharing content. This includes a YouTube channel, blogs, a podcast, or even influencer account. The idea is very simple. Instead of selling a product up front, you are focused on building an audience first. Once you have built that audience, it becomes the foundation for generating income through ads, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, or even your own products. Now, this can teach you two of the most critical skills for any business: getting attention and building trust. These are invaluable if you plan to scale or pivot to any other business type in the future. But here's the catch: they are not fast money makers and not as easy as it seems. However, if you are willing to play the long game, they are incredible for long-term growth. On paper, all you need to start is a smartphone or laptop, but I'm very cautious about saying this because while it's technically true, there is much more to it, and for example, my YouTube channel alone is worth many smartphones to be able to compete properly with other content creators. Still, the entry cost compared to other business types can be significantly lower. By creating content, you will master skills like marketing, engagement, storytelling, and even audience building. Those are skills that are transferable to nearly any other business type and pretty much priceless for anyone looking to grow a business. Once you have an audience, the possibilities are endless. You can generate income through ads, sponsorships, affiliate sales, you own physical or even digital products. You gain the flexibility to experiment with different monetization methods without being tied to a single source of revenue. On top of that, if you want to build a personal brand, it can also bring fun and even a degree of fame. While this is not everyone's goal, it's an undeniable perk for some. But, and this is a very big but, it takes time to build. Growing an audience large enough to generate consistent income takes months or even years. This isn't a quick path to cash, and you definitely need patience. The internet is saturated with content creators. Standing out requires creativity and a unique edge, consistency, and a clearly defined niche. If you don't have a way to differentiate yourself, it can be tough to break through. Now, producing regular, high quality content is incredibly time intensive. It's not just filming or writing, it's planning, editing, publishing, and engaging with your audience. And I don't even want to tell you how many hours of work I put into my videos. And managing a SaaS company plus a YouTube channel means basically no weekends for me. And don't get me wrong, I mean, if you do it because you love it, that's totally okay. You might spend months or even years creating free content with no guarantee that it will eventually work out. This means you won't receive immediately tons of views, tons of likes, or even comments, so this can become somewhat discouraging. I will put content-based businesses in the B tier as I think they are the future and excellent choices for beginners who are willing to play the long game. They are also perfect as a side hustle while you maintain another income source, because even if your content-based business doesn't work out, the skills you are basically learning throughout are invaluable for any other type of business that you want to start in the future. Foundation businesses, also known as service-based, are one of the best starting points for beginners. However, this type of business is often overhyped by gurus trying to sell you expensive courses. But the truth is, while they are great for building foundational skills, you actually don't need to spend thousands of dollars to get started. I want to cover two subpoints. The first one is incredibly beginner friendly, while the second builds on top of it and offers the potential to scale further. So let's start with the first one, the so-called solo businesses, aka freelancing. A service-based business such as freelancing is one of the fastest and most accessible ways for beginners to get started. Whether it's offering services like graphic design, copywriting, or administrative support, freelancing allows you to work directly with clients by selling your time. Even without much experience, you can start small and learn as you go. Freelancing is one of the easiest ways to begin earning money, even if you're starting with basic skills. For entry-level services like virtual assistants or simple admin tasks, you can improve on the job and get paid while learning. Now, for advanced services like copywriting or graphic design, there is often an initial learning curve, but freelancing gives you the chance to test and refine those skills with real clients, helping you grow faster while generating income. Now, one thing to not underestimate is that freelancing is a massive learning opportunity. Working with different businesses gives you behind-the-scenes insights into how they operate, from sales and marketing to client communication and even their own processes. Beyond making money, freelancing is a way to invest in your own growth. The experience and knowledge you can gain can serve as a foundation for launching other businesses later. However, your earnings are directly linked to the hours you work or projects you complete, and without scaling, your income will be capped at some point. The income from freelancing can fluctuate. Some months you may have plenty of work, while others are very slow, and building a steady stream of clients takes time. Now, landing your first clients often requires persistence and learning how to pitch your services effectively. It can take time to build trust and establish a consistent client base, especially if you plan to use platforms like Upwork or even Fiverr. Handling several clients can feel very overwhelming, especially if every client has different needs and timelines, so staying organized and being strategic about your workload is critical to avoid many mistakes. But once you are at this stage, the next subtype might actually help you fix that. Now, an agency is the next step after freelancing, and I'm talking about a business that has more than one person, like copywriting, graphic design, web development agencies, and so on. It is definitely more scalable, and delegating tasks to a team allows you to handle more clients and projects, significantly increasing your earning potential. You also don't need to wear all the hats anymore, and delegating some of the service work means you can focus on client acquisition or whichever part of the business that aligns best with your strengths. Now, one small point worth mentioning is that you might feel actually less alone when working with a team on the service delivery. Unfortunately, due to many gurus overhyping agencies, the space has become so saturated, and there are many businesses that are being spammed by random agencies around the world, so you have to be careful how you position yourself. It's definitely a different responsibility, as you need to learn how to hire and manage people. Agencies usually rely on consistent client acquisition to sustain growth and to be able to pay their team members, with very few exceptions, like motivating a team member to work on a commission basis with you, for example. Now, freelancing earns, in my opinion, the top spot because it's something I would be comfortable recommending, as even if it fails, you had the opportunity to build critical skills and move towards something else with minimal risk. After having initial success, an agency might then be the natural next step, hence why I put it in the A tier. Now, if you turn the tier list upside down, you are left with something very interesting. Look at this as your roadmap and use it to build your long-term vision. When I was 18, I started as a freelancer/agency type of business, which allowed me to learn so many skills, generate cash flow, and also make my first steps into the business world. From there, I transitioned into different service-based businesses managing multiple properties on Airbnb. The foundation allowed me to jump into the C tier by founding my own software company, and on the side invest my money that I have earned until then. Now, as you can see, I'm also slowly getting into the content-based business, and I'm really trying to share everything that I have learned over the last 7 years, and potentially in the future I will create another digital product-based business. This is the exact roadmap that helps me create multiple income streams, and by the way, for those still watching, you will actually find a link to all the business options that I have mentioned in this video in the description below if you join my community. So take your time to really think about when, and most importantly, which business you want to start. There is no perfect business, but there are paths you can take that can make your journey drastically simpler, even though not easy, especially if you do not watch this video next.